We're in Danbury, Essex, and we're working on the outdoor centre. We've got the larch fascia and soffit, then we've got larch cladding. So we're going to be breaking it down really simple, good work tips. If you've got any questions, please let us know. We'll show you through the process of how we do it. Good work tips to make a better quality job and quicker. What we've done is, we've worked out the heads of the heights of the doors and the soffit, and we're going to do the soffits that goes into the door. So I made a little jig, really simple. This sits on top of the wall plate, and we'll put a batten all the way around the building. We'll tack it on, we'll eye it through, string line it, pin it in, and that just helps out put it in place until we get the line. So that's a good start. And then when we come to do the fascia, this is really simple. That's your space at the bottom to the soffit. That is the size of the soffit, which is a piece of batten. And what we do is, against the wall, we put that up to the soffit, put our square there, hold it like that, and our fascia will sit on there, and that will work out perfect. When we're doing the fascia and soffit, I like to do all miters on the fascia, but this larch is so sawn and rough, it's going to bow, twist, cut, spring, and it's just going to open up, especially with its different thicknesses, so we're going to butt joint it. But what we do is we make sure that all the end grains is the same. If you look here, you can see the way it is in the core, so a bowing. So what we're going to do is do them all like that, because what we don't want is one like that and one like that. We're going to do it so they're all the same way. And another thing, I rebate out for my soffit, but on here, same scenario, it's so sawn, it's all different thicknesses. So what we're going to do is put a batten, top like that, screw it from the inside with an angle drill, and then pin up. Nice and simple box ends. Once we've got it run down, I always scribe it in to the back. I check the level on it. If I've got to, I'll split the difference. But either way, I want 6 mil over, and I'll cut that there for any movement and any shrinkages. But the gutter goes past that anyway, so that's fine to have about 6 to 10 mil overhang. And when I do the box ends, I'll literally hold a piece on there, and I'll level down and round, and then cut that to suit. So it's nice and tight. But what I do is on this bit at the front, I'll always hang that slightly over that way and that way, just for any movement. But it's good. So all the larches on, roofs can carry on. We're going to go down the bottom. We can start getting our battens on. And let's go through the process. Right, we measure these battens in, and we've done it 10 mil smaller, and we'll go one tight up to the soffit and one lower to this point. There's an airflow that goes all the way around, and yes, we've got a mesh that goes over the top, but we try to keep that soffit up tight. And then we've got a trim that will go on the bottom, like so. When it comes to the windows and doors, I wait till all the windows are in every time I do a video, just so I want to make a noise. It's not a chainsaw, it's a lawnmower or a grinder. And what we do is, I will pin all the bottoms, and then we go around with a level and get them upright. In regards to the ones around the windows, I'll also make sure they're tight into the windowsill, and then we'll level them. And when we put our trims on, they'll work nicely with all the windows. All our cuts will be square and work to the level trims. When we do our battening, verticals, we need to have an airflow. So what we'll do is we'll just drill holes through here, but we like to have one consistent rather than small little pieces. Because if you do it like that, you've got nothing solid, you're only fixing the supply. This is solid. And we bring our batten down a touch, so you've got more room to get the hammer in, so you don't hit the barge board. Also, it's less chance of getting the ends getting split with the nails. So that works really well. Also, we still have to keep them reasonably close, because we've got to do an insect mesh to go round, and the insect mesh is reasonably firm. So we just staple that to it, it's 4 inches, that works out well. Also, the panels have the lines in, have the cords to tell you where the solid posts are, but the gables have got them wrong each end. So what we do is do it consistent so the nails are in line, and then we've had to screw the tops to try and get it as best as we can and fix it through the top. But we want all our nail holes to be all the way through, all parallel and looking good. Setting out our cladding. First one we do with the brickwork, so by eye it looks correct, and then we'll check the levels and we'll adjust each row around the building 5mm at a time. So for example, 10mm out, 2 boards, 15mm out, 3 boards. Keep it simple. But before we put all the corners and all the trims on, we'll ping out a chalk line all the way around first, and them lines are there. It just makes it easier without all the trims on. Also, if it's a long run and we put our string line through, we just put a nail in the middle, lift it up 1mm, 2mm, just take that slack, and then one can hold it tight here, go to middle, ping, same the other end. Works that way. Well, good way of doing it. What I like doing is once all the windows and doors are in, I will adjust my trims to suit so all the margins are nice all the way around. But the problem is when people come in and out the doors are just going to get scratched. I know you can protect it, but either way, they're going in last. So I put temporaries in, and then what I'll do is, when the window fitters come here, I'll just say to them, look, conscious effort, try and divide them equally in a space. Don't just put them tight to one frame, because I want their margins to look the same. Also, with some of the brickwork in the timber frame build, they're in different lines, so I have to think about that. If you went to the frame opening, you could end up putting the trims down and end up having to wrap them around the brickwork. So I'll move them over to the brickwork and adjust my timbers to suit so it goes straight down. So even if the frame's bigger, adjust it to the brickwork as long as the opening works. Good work. Corner posts. How I work these out, whatever the thickness is, or where the cladding is going to go butt into, I will make sure that I do the same this side. The issue here is the weatherboard cladding is just on the edge, and I don't like that. Any shrinkage, you're going to see it, especially if it cups up. So what I've done is I've put an extra 10mm piece in here. So from the other side, it's 45mm. So I've packed this out 45mm. So now you'll have a nice little margin that goes round. Also, I will put my battens, I will cancel through the battens and put screws, and I'll get plenty in there so you don't see no fixings in the corner post. And while I'm cladding it, I want to make sure it's no twisting it and it's square. So I'll just put a timber in, just tap it up to square. Once I've got a couple in, I can take that out, and that works really well. Every nail, hand nail, I will make sure that they're the same distance up and they're all in line with this batten. That's why it's important for these battens to go on level. When you hand nail them, the heads of the nails will be flush. Yes, we can use nail gun, and we're not interested in speed. It's time to go fast and get it done when we need, and it's time to take a little step back and get quality. And this is what I like. Nice lines, everything, all the joints, all the nails, all in line, looking good. Right, staggering these joints. This is one thing that I really like to make sure that we are 100% on. You can do, for example, have a joint, space, and a joint, and what it will do is it will draw attention. So you will have a massive bit of cladding with no joints, and then it'll be joint, space, joint, space, joint. What we'll do is we'll have a joint, space, space, then a joint, allowing us to get another joint in somewhere on that cladding. So when you look at it, you will see random staggers, and it won't draw to attention. Another thing I noticed, I mean, there's no right or wrong, it's just what we do. You'll see a lot of people use the off cut from one end, and then what happens is you'll have joints stagger like that, and they'll go up, creep up, and it'll just attract attention. And you'll have patches, so we just spread them out wherever we can, so it looks good and it looks like how it's supposed to be done. Cutting the claddings in on a gable, easiest way for me, if I'm working on my own. Push it tight, fix it towards the end like so, and then you can measure from point to point each end. We've got to leave 8mm here. So for example, 8mm square that way, maybe 9 or 10mm that way, and you just deduct that off. Keeps it nice and easy. Good for working when you're working on your own. Alright, tees. Every time I put these in for my boards, I will swap them each end. Only got to be slightly different, and they start going out. And then I still double check the corners. So let's say, for example, that they do go out slightly and they start creeping out. I will put the tee in, and I'd put a nail at the top just to creep that up like 1.5 mm, and then I'll put a level on it. It might work in my favour. I might have to do the same on the tee the other end. If I've got to do the opposite, just do the opposite. I'll put 2 nails underneath my tee, hold it down, creep it down slowly. It's a good little work tip. Try and play around these corners gradually, making them work. Trims, nice and neat. What I like to do is, because the cladding cups and the timber shrinks, I just like to leave like 8mm or so, and I'll go through with it, whether the agent or the window fitters, to make sure that my trims don't go past the window sills. So I want it to look right. And then when I go to the other end, fixing it, I've got 100mm up, 100mm down, one in the centre, whatever suits, and in the centre that way, so the fixing looks right. Another thing that I like to make sure that I do is just leave like 1.5 mm at the back and underneath for any movement. And when I come to do the silicone ceiling around the windows, like it pushes it in and it mushrooms in to stop the water getting and soaking up.
Oh, I'm gonna stop.